I'm Jerry Hafer. I represent AMAC and the AMAC Foundation. Now, I'm just curious, how many of you are familiar with AMAC? Oh, well, that's good. That's good. We're getting there. We're getting there. AMAC is the Association of Mature American Citizens.
Oh.
We are the fastest growing senior advocacy group in the country. We represent between 1.3 and 1.4 million members nationwide, and our mission is to advocate for issues for seniors on behalf of issues in Washington. That's basically what we do. Issues like Social Security, health care, we represent our 1.3, 1.4 million members, and we take their views to Washington to help shape legislation. That's really what we do. The AMAC Foundation is the nonprofit extension of AMAC. Our mission is to educate and support America's seniors in a variety of ways, and I'll tell you how we do that. First of all, we operate two information-packed websites. One is socialsecurity.report.org, and the other is medicarereport.org. If you pick up literature out front at the table, you'll see the actual URL, the web addresses for those sites. I would encourage you to take a look at them. They are packed with information about Social Security and Medicare. They are updated every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with breaking news. Anything major that's happening in those areas, we cover it on our website. Another way that we do it is we have a service called Social Security Advisory Service. We have 4 trained and certified Social Security advisors on staff that answer questions about Social Security. If you know of anyone that's aging into Social Security and you have questions, just contact us and we'll research and tell you how the rules apply to you. If you have questions about it, if you're already a beneficiary and you have questions, just give us a call and we'll help you interpret any changes to the rules. Social Security is, as many of you know, is sort of complex. Not as simple as a lot of people think it is. There are 2,700 separate rules in Social Security, some that overlap others, some that countermand others, and if you're trying to navigate through that, it really is a problem. So we have 4 trained and certified advisors that can help you through that. That's a relatively new service. We started it about a year ago, about a year and a half ago now, and we're handling usually on average about 100 requests each month. And they can take us anywhere from 5 minutes per request to 5 hours per request, just depending on how complex it is. And we will research that and provide a credible answer to the question. And there is no charge for this service. We are a 501c3 organization, so we do not charge for these services. We are funded totally by member contributions, so that's how we operate. We don't charge for anything. The third way that we serve seniors is seminar series like this. We do generally 1 or 2 seminars a month on topics that are of interest to seniors. For example, we do a seminar on new to Medicare for people that are aging into Medicare. What decisions do they have to make? What do they have to know to make those decisions? What are the penalties if they make a bad decision? Social Security Basics is another one we cover. Senior fraud, how to prevent fraud situations as a senior. We even do some technical sessions on, you may remember a couple of years ago, the transition from Windows 7 to Windows 8 and 10 caused a lot of people a lot of confusion, and we had a lot of people contacting us for advice, so we did a seminar about that, seminar series about that actually. And then a couple of months ago we had this brainstorm. I heard a lot of scuttlebutt in one of our sessions about this darn cable company. It was phrased a little differently than that. I'm sort of being kind. But we kind of picked up on that and thought, wow, that's an area that's of interest to seniors, and perhaps we should take a look at that. So I contacted my good friends at Best Buy, and we arranged to do this seminar on cutting the cord, alternatives really. What are the alternatives to having a cable service that many people are unhappy with? We advertised this in the Village's Homeowner Association newspaper back in August, and the paper came out at 9 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock we had 100 names signed up. So we started a waiting list for the second one. This is the second one. And about a week later we had 100 names on that list, and 100 is our limit. And so we scheduled a third one for January, and I think there's close to 100 names on that one as well. So we believe that we've hit a hot nerve. But it's a topic that's of interest to so many people, and there are so many ways to go that can get you over the problem, but you have to be careful. You have to know what you're getting and what you're not getting. And that's why we went to the experts. And with that, I'd like to introduce my compatriots. Let me get my clicker.
Good.
Click. Just click. With me today is James Shadera, supervisor of the Lady Lake Geek Squad. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Geek Squad. Zach Newman, take a wave, and Marshall Shaw, smart home agent. And that brings up another item that I wanted to mention. We're going to be doing another seminar on smart home, probably right after the first of the year. You know, what are the options in the Internet of Things, really? You know, the stuff you can put inside your house to help monitor your home. And Marshall is the expert in that area, so we'll be seeing him again.
Can I sign up?
Not quite ready to take sign-ups yet. It's only about 15 minutes ago that we talked about it, but stay tuned. And seriously, keep an eye on our website, amacfoundation.org. We have an events page on there. We have all the upcoming events that we have scheduled. And there's a lot of news items on there and background information about issues relevant to seniors. And so probably January, I think we said late January sometime, probably. You know, that one will be up on the schedule. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a good one. So with that, I'll turn it over to James, and he'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Again, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. I did not know there were that many rules to Medicare. So that's interesting. I had no idea on that one.
Wait till you get old enough.
Yeah. There'll probably be more.
Yep.
So just to be clear, if anyone's having trouble with any kind of Windows or Apples thing and you need some help, here at this library, in this room, we do classes. No charge, you need to be a member of anything, absolutely not. We do one for Windows and we do one for Apple devices, depending if you have mobile or Apple computers. And we'll gladly give you the dates on all of that. We do it every month for all of them. And there's, like I said, no charge, no strings, nothing like that. We get a lot of positive feedback from these classes. A lot of people like them. As you said, I'm James. I'm the supervisor of the Geek Squad there. In the other black shirt here, this is Zach. Zach, if you bring your computer in to get fixed, 90% chance he's going to be the one fixing it. And then Marshall has more knowledge about smart home stuff than I've forgotten. So he puts me to shame on it. He's our best guy with it. You guys can join. They won't bite. Come on. What we're going to be covering today, though, different streaming services and streaming devices. Alternatives to cable, I have had, since we did this last presentation, I've had quite a few people come into the store and tell me, hey, after what you told me, I went and I did this, that, and the other thing. A lot of the time it was an alternative to cable. They were able to cut their cable bill down because like, oh, I was able to get these instead of like through this, instead of through the cable company, and it saved me about $40, $50, $60 a month. So it's something like that. You don't have to, it's not one or the other. You can use them both, and you can save a lot of money using both. Along with the services, and we'll cover the difference, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Video, stuff like that. We'll cover some devices. You can save a lot of money if you have a TV that's not a smart TV, and you make it a smart TV with a device. And a lot of the time, these devices are a lot easier because the devices will stay up to date, where this extremely specific TV model that you bought, it's like, oh, you can watch Netflix on it just fine, but the Hulu app isn't up to date, something like that. It's a lot easier for the devices to stay up to date. Because of questions about antennas, we added some stuff in about an antenna around here. So if that's for your interest, we do have some answers for you on that one. Also, if you're a snowbird, we have a solution for you so you don't have to pay for a whole cable package up north and a whole new cable package down here. We'll stop after each slide and ask if there's any questions, and we'll gladly go into it. If you have a very specific question, I'll just say, hey, afterwards come meet with one of us and we'll look it up for you. All right? So first thing, and this is one of the most popular names in there, is Netflix. Netflix, they kind of started the whole series. They have 3 different versions available. First one being their $7.99 basic package. One of the main advantages to Netflix and one of the main advantages to all these streaming services is you're not going to get stuck into a contract. That's one of the things that a lot of people like. The key differences between Netflix, though, and the different versions, it's going to be screens that you can watch these on. So if you're just paying the $7.99, that means it's just you or just you and one other, and you're going to be watching in your house together. If it's important to you and you have multiple people using it, that's most of the time when you're going to have to be upgrading. The difference between HD being available, you're looking at just a couple bucks here or there. Go ahead. These are the key things about Netflix. The competitive price point, this is one of the main things that a lot of these services have over cable, is that you're not paying an arm and a leg. It's, hey, well, every TV you have, we're going to have to add an extra so-and-so a month, for this box and that box. It does not work like that. There's no hassle on the cancellations. Hey, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Goodbye. Cancel it. Okay, by the end of the month, it'll be done. Or the original programming. Original programming is a huge push right now for a lot of these. That's how they're staying competitive with cable companies. Whereas they'll be like, hey, we'll offer you HBO. Netflix has their own series. House of Cards is one of the more popular ones. I personally love that one, but Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, stuff like that. Which is like, hey, instead of going with Hulu or going with Amazon, if you come with us or going with your cable company, these are some shows that we offer. One of the awesome things about Netflix and these shows is when they come out with a new one, it's not an episode every week. They release the whole season. Which is the concept where people say, oh, binge watch on their Netflix, blah, 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 blah. They come a whole season. House of Cards Season 2, everything's out that day. So watch it at your own pace. And you never have to worry about missing it because it's always there. Easily accessible through a wide range of devices. This is one thing Netflix has on its competitors. And we'll cover the other ones once we get to them. But Netflix, a lot of things come stock with a Netflix app. If you buy a television, any store, 99% chance it's going to have a Netflix app already into it. Any kind of device, any kind of smartphone, extremely easy to access. Or anything you're going to be plugging into your television, like a Roku, etc., there is almost always a Netflix app. They have made sure to be integrated into all of this. So, and you're able to watch it on lower speed connections. So if you're going through an internet provider around here, it's mostly Comcast and CenturyLink. So if you're doing some of the lower end packages with them, you're going to be fine. And another advantage to that is you can watch it on your phone on your mobile data. Be careful, and I always give this warning, be extremely careful with that and know your data limits. Just because you can watch it on your lower data, these rack it up fast. And that bill can be pretty not fun. So it has caught a lot of people off guard. We're like, oh, all I did was watch a couple of shows. Watching a show or a movie, it's very data heavy. However, if you're grandfathered into an unlimited data plan or you're paying for an unlimited data plan, awesome. You can watch it anywhere. Go ahead.
Question, on my smart TV, it's going through the TV. That doesn't affect my data, does it?
So she asked, it's going through her smart TV. Does it affect her data? Because she's watching on her TV. So when you're watching it on your TV,
right,
you're connected to your home internet.
Right.
And so it depends. There are data caps on home internet, but they are a lot higher than on cell phones. It would take a lot to hit that data cap.
You're looking at 50 to 60 gigs worth of data on your home Wi-Fi. That's compared to maybe having a 4 gig data plan on your phone.
Translate to hours? What's a gig? How long, 50 to 60 gigs, is that 20 hours worth, approximately?
Probably a lot more than that.
Yeah,
50 hours worth.
it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a significant amount. And the quality of what you're watching will also matter, but it's going to be a significant amount. If all you're doing is simple, hey, I check my news, I check my email, I check my Facebook, and I watch shows, you're not going to hit that limit.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, we purchased a new TV when we first got here about 3 years ago. It is not a smart TV. We're now using Wii to pull in our Netflix. Is it possible to get Netflix off the new TV that we purchased?
Absolutely. So we're going to cover some devices that will help you with that a little bit later in the presentation. But absolutely, he asked if there's ways. There's a lot of ways to help you if you have a not smart TV or a smart TV that doesn't have the app you want. There's a lot of solutions for you, and we'll be covering that. Go ahead.
So with all the alternatives that you're going to present today, they're all internet dependent?
He asked, with the alternatives that we're going to present today, are they internet dependent? Yes. Yes, they are. you're going to need a connection. Because even if you're downloading them in, you're still going to have to be able to download them. So while you will still, however, it is cheaper to have just internet than internet and cable. Cable racks up a lot faster than internet.
Now, these apps like Netflix, they do have things called offline viewing, where once you have an internet connection, you can actually download the shows to like a tablet, and then you go somewhere to where you don't have internet and still be able to watch them because you've downloaded it to the tablet.
But at one point, you're going to need internet through the process.
Now, if anyone's confused as to what exactly Netflix is and what it does, Netflix has pretty much, it's a TV show or movie viewing app. So all the TV shows that you probably see across through your TV, across all the channels, they pretty much try to provide all that content in one app through Netflix, as well as TV or movies. Now, one of the cons here is that it does not provide new shows. So it might take maybe a month or two after a season ends for it to show up on Netflix. It's not going to be live. As soon as the show has a new episode, it's not going to provide that episode. Now, there's other apps for that do have that capability. Now, it's also not going to have all shows. So HBO has its own shows. They have their own app for that, so you're not going to be able to watch HBO stuff on Netflix. But we'll get into more of that.
And yeah, if live is important to you and up-to-date ones, there are choices for you. So it's not like you're without a paddle. Yes, ma'am.
Is it safe to say that I think 25 is it MBPs?
Megabytes per second.
Is that adequate to run, say, I have smart TV. I'm looking at Sling. Can't wait to get rid of Dish. But, and then I do some computer work, but I'm not a big game player on the computer. Is 25 adequate, or should I be looking for something higher?
25 is about what is recommended to do more of the high definition streaming. Now, if you're okay with standard definition, which is a lower quality, 10 is even enough in some cases.
I'll stick with 25. Okay, thank
Now,
you.
I mean, it's a good question though, because yes, is 25 megabytes per second good enough? Yes, it pretty much is. Now, you're also going to be affected by what type of router you have at your home or your modem, which is another kind of story.
And how much stuff you have connected to your home,
Exactly. If
which
you're
can be
watching-
more than you think.
If you have any smartphone, any smart TV, any tablets, any PCs, all of that is taking up your internet connection. So if all of them are using the internet at the same time, that 25 megabyte per second might go quick. And you might need to upgrade to something higher. But it also depends on what type of router you have and things like that. But for the most part, 25 is fine.
When we got to the Sling TV thing, I can tell you when we did the last presentation, quite a few people, they liked the Sling TV option and gotten a lot of positive feedback about it. And we will be going into a little bit more for you. As he mentioned, one of the major deal breakers, I know this is one of the reasons my grandfather didn't like it, no news stations. So if news is important to you and you want to be able to watch them, Netflix does not have news stations. A couple more cons on it, like you said.
How about local channels?
Nope.
Local channels are not going to be on Netflix.
They do have BBC. So if you're looking for stuff in Britain, they do have shows from
Yeah.
Britain.
But local channels, Netflix does not have much of. Really good original content, though. So like if any of the shows that Netflix makes themselves, if that's big on, that's awesome. If your main priority is movies, Netflix is also really good at it. So if you're really like, hey, I'd rather just put a movie on and relax on the couch, glass of wine, Netflix is fantastic with it. As he said, newer TV channels, there's no channel surfing. So you can't just, oh, I don't really want to watch anything specific, I'll just put on NBC and see what's going on. You have to know what you want to watch going in, and you have to play it. It'll make suggestions to you. The more you watch, it'll say, hey, you know, you're probably going to like this, you're probably going to like this. It'll make suggestions.
It does try to tailor itself to what you're viewing, so it'll see what you viewed and try to make suggestions based on what you've watched before.
All of them are susceptible to this, by the way, but Netflix seems to be the one that gets hit the most with it. Licensing agreements. So like, oh, my favorite TV show, my favorite movies, they're on Netflix this month, and then next month they're gone. They purchased the agreement to have it on there for so long, and then it's up to them to renew it. And they might say, hey, we're going to offer you a lower price, or the other party might come back and say, we want a higher price. And then they might, hey, okay, there's no agreement, bye. So, and if it's gone, it's gone. on Netflix at least. And then if you go around the total channels, Hulu's looking at about 10,000 titles, Netflix at about 7,000 titles, and Amazon Video has about 20,000 titles, but we're going to get into the Amazon Video's high count when we get there. There are some stipulations on that. So any other questions for Netflix? Go ahead.
Yeah, one real quick, and it applies to all of them you're going to cover. Is there any place that I can go and find a list of everything that's covered by that service?
So one thing he asked, is there any place he can go where he can find a list of everything that's covered by that service? Do you mean titles? Exactly. So he wants titles. To my knowledge, no, there are people who have gone on their own to go and try to like data mine the whole database there, but they kind of keep that hidden because of their competitors. So there's no, to my knowledge, because we did look, they kind of hide a little bit and it's always changing. Anything else? All right, go ahead. So this is one of the major competitors with Netflix. Now, Hulu is more, if your main focus is TV shows and newer TV shows, Hulu's going to be the one for you. If you're more about movies, Netflix is going to be for you. But Hulu, one of the main complaints, and this drives people nuts, is the commercials. If you do not want commercials, you have to pay a little bit more. The $7.99 package is going to have commercials. And then the $11.99 package is not. There are some other things about Hulu that gives an advantage, but that is the main thing I always tell people going in.
As compared to Netflix, your basic package that you buy, no matter what, there's no commercials on anything, no matter which version you have.
Go ahead. And now, some pros and cons of Hulu. Competitive pricing, as always. You have add-ons, like a Showtime add-on. So if you really are into Showtime, you can add that onto your package and you'll get a lot of Showtime content. Really, really good with the TV shows. If it's on Hulu when it airs, it's most likely on live TV, then it's most likely going to be on Hulu the next day, which is fantastic. You don't need the DVR, you don't need to record it, it's just there and it's available for you. Hulu originals, The Handmaid's Tale, Dimension 404, which is kind of like a modern twist on the Twilight Zone, stuff like that. Not as much as Netflix. Netflix and Amazon are really pushing original content. Not anywhere near as much as Hulu. Or Hulu is nowhere near as much. All major streaming devices, so just like I said with Netflix, Hulu has also become a norm. So it maybe not as much as Netflix, but a lot of TVs you're going to be buying. You can ask and double check, but you're going to be fine with like the Roku and any of the main streaming devices. They will definitely have a Hulu app. Most TVs will. Hulu is becoming more and more common. Heavily focused on TV shows, though. Very heavily focused on TV shows. They have movies. The selection's nowhere near as much as the two other major competitors. Different cons, though. They will not have the latest season, or they'll have the latest season for TV shows. This is one of the weirder things. So it's like, hey, I really like this show, and it has 5 seasons. They might have 3, 4, and 5, but not 1 and 2. It's not always the case, but it's more common on Hulu than any other one. As I stated, limited movie selection. This is more if your focus is TV shows. The commercials, unless you pay for the extra. And then the original content, it's not on level with what they've put out over at Netflix and what they're putting out with Amazon. Like Amazon has Man in the High Castle. They have quite a few. Hulu's really just more focused on, hey, let's get the latest TV shows that people want to watch on live TV. That's their edge, and it's working. A lot of people, they do prefer that. And not always available on internet, like not everything has it. Like Blu-ray players, some of them, if they're like a little more souped up, they'll have your Netflix app. They might not always have their Hulu app. So if Hulu's what's important to you and you're buying any kind of device, just check. It's a quick Google search, or it'll be on the box, little Hulu icon, stuff like that. So always check. One of the things Hulu is doing, however, and this is something newish, is Hulu Live. It is in beta, so there are a couple stipulations, a couple things here or there, but it's $39.99 a month, and you're getting live TV. And I'll have the next slide that'll show you all the channels. But there's no installation of equipment, so it's not like, oh, we're going to have to come out and set this up, and we're going to charge you $75 for this black box that you're not even going to know what it does. So there's none of that. You can record live TV, and you can record up to 50 hours of it, which is fantastic. You still have access to the regular Hulu library, so it's not one or the other. And you also, live games, NFL, NBA, MLB, stuff like that, but there are blackout dates on them. And you cannot watch, I know off the top of my head, like NFL, you cannot watch on your smartphone. That's a restriction from NFL on their licensing. So you can go on Hulu.com or you can send it to your TV, but you cannot watch it from your smartphone. So go ahead.
The recording is, you need a recorder, or is it within the?
He asked the recording, do you need a recorder? No, it's in there with Hulu. So you don't need some additional equipment or like any kind of DVR thing or anything like that to record it. It's actually in there with Hulu. I'm not sure if you can pay for more recording. I can look that up after if you would like to know. Because I was curious about that because I'm thinking about signing up for Hulu for that. These are the channels that they talk about. Go ahead.
Follow-up question. Can
Absolutely.
you delete previously recorded?
He asked if you could delete the previous recorded. Yes. It's not like, oh, you recorded this episode, you're stuck with it forever. You can choose what your 50 hours are. These are the channels. There are local channels available to your area. I looked around. I think there's a couple unique villages things when I looked it up. I can look it up afterwards if there's more interest in it. But there are local channels available in your area. When you sign up for this, you provide your zip code. But these are the ones by default. So if news is important to you and that was your deal breaker with Netflix, then this one might help. Go ahead.
I know the last page and this page isn't in the little handout. Is it possible to get those 2 pages?
I have the
We have them
printout.
right here.
Yeah.
Pick one up on the way out.
Yeah, we have some handouts for you if you would like that.
I
But-
don't see PBS.
They're not all going to be on here. She said she doesn't see PBS.
That's a deal breaker.
As I said, like, it's not all going to be on here, and this is just beta, and they're still purchasing rights, so I'm sure they're going to be getting more, and I'm sure they'll lose a few that they aren't that common, or some that'll be like, hey, we want to charge more, etc. But Hulu Live is an option. One thing, and we do not have a slide for it, but we were looking it up, is YouTube's live thing. Do you know if PBS is one of the channels they offer? Okay, and he'll look on that, because YouTube is also getting into it. Go ahead.
Is that the Big Ten network up there?
Where is it, ma'am?
Right above.
Right here?
No, one over.
Right here?
Bravo.
That's Bravo.
Yeah.
Left.
Left is BTN.
BTN, is that
Black TV?
No.
No, the
No.
WT.
Is that it?
I'm not entirely sure that one is. I can look it up for you, though. We can look up which one that is. Go ahead.
One of the big problems is how when we have the regular, like CenturyLink, they keep increasing the prices and you go into this terrible war. Would the same thing probably be applicable in the next year or so with Hulu and Netflix, how they're going to every month
That
the price?
that hits home because they've done that one to me. So her question is, she was dealing with CenturyLink or something like that. Mine was Comcast, and it's like, hey, when I go to renew or every month or whatever, they'll jack the price up, and it'll go up and up and up. How long has Netflix been at $7.99?
Since they came out.
So, and Hulu, there's nowhere near as much price changing with this kind of stuff as that. Because I know it's like with my unique situation with my cable company is, hey, this is your deal, and they didn't tell me it was some kind of temporary promotion, and all of a sudden it ran out, and then my bill went up $40 6 months into it, and I had no idea, so I'm calling them like, excuse you? This isn't how this is going to go. And then all of a sudden like, oh, no problem, there's another promotion. So, yeah, it's nowhere near as much of an issue.
It's not nowhere near as an issue. It might still do it, like Netflix just recently had a price change. It went from their secondary package went from $8.99 to $9.99. It went up $1.
Yes.
Go ahead.
They're minimal.
Just a quick thing about that secondary package. My sister is watching Netflix at my house. She lives in California. I liked it, so she got a deal with Netflix that I'm on here in Florida, and she's on in San Diego, both on at the same time for $9.99.
Yeah, that's the upgraded package one that we were showing in the
The
beginning.
Netflix,
Nice.
the upgraded package, I think it's only 3 devices. You can have it simultaneously, while the $11.99 is 5 devices. And it could be anywhere in the nation.
Go ahead, sir.
Do you have all the monthly taxes and surcharges on
Nope.
this as you would on the Century or?
The question is, do you have taxes and surcharges? No.
All the same ones, they've got about 5 or 6.
You pay a flat fee every month, and that's it.
One of the advantages.
Are the networks, that's the local affiliates out of, for us, it would be out of Orlando, right? So you have access to ABC, CBS, and NBC out of Orlando all the time.
Are you talking for the local ones for Hulu?
Yes.
Would you mind going to the Hulu Live and pulling up and put in the Village's zip code? We can look at the local channels real quick for you and let you know.
Okay.
And he'll pull that one up. Go ahead.
Can I add stars to that?
She asked if she can add stars to this. This is what Hulu Live offers. You can't customize this, but if you're looking for something like that, then my suggestion is Sling TV, and we'll be getting to that one for you. Go ahead. I'm sorry? Turner Classic Movies. I'm not sure what that is. Oh.
Here it is.
Hold on, everyone. Everyone's talking at once.
Next to TNT.
Don't believe TCM is on here. There might be other options available to have that. And we can always look up and see whether they have their own app or not.
There.
Is it?
Between TBS and TNT. The white down bottom line.
TCM. Oh, hey. There you go.
TCM is on there.
And you know what, just a funny story about it, just so you know, the Hulu Live had no idea this existed. We did this presentation, and this really nice lady came in, and she was like, hey, I went to your presentation. You saved me like 20, 30 bucks. It was awesome. And she was like, here's something I learned, because I was looking it up. And she showed me this, and I was like, wow. So that's how I learned about this just a few days ago. So it's awesome. So it's always nice to be sharing the data. So if you guys know anything that you think, hey, this might be awesome for some people, please let us know, because we'll incorporate it. Go ahead.
For those of us who are technologically challenged, somewhere along the line, are you going to go over how to install these?
He's asking how to install these. So what's great about these, there is not like an installation thing. There's no equipment. There's nothing like that. You would just access this. You would sign in from an app, or you would sign in on like your phone or your television. There isn't any kind of complicated thing that you need to hook up to your TV and deal with this, that, and the other thing. You're just getting an account.
So there's no boxes.
There's no boxes.
There's no orange shirt.
And is there
Go ahead.
a separate charge per how many sets you use?
No,
Set?
not at all. It's not like that. That's one of the main advantages of this. It's not like, hey, do you have 3 TVs? Okay, it's going to be an extra $5 per TV. None of that. That's not a game that they play with this. One of the main advantages over cable companies. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry? Hulu Live Beta, it's out now.
Yeah, it's already out.
It's out now. They just preface it with beta because they're still feeling the waters. It's new.
Fixing things, changing things. This isn't going to be what what it might be
Let me see the
in a couple
local.
months. That's what the beta's tactics there for. But you can still access it.
All right, so just to answer the question about the local channels, according to them, the live local channels, when we put in this zip code, Fox 35 Orlando, My Network TV, Fox Sports Florida, News 6, there's A&E, Bravo, and there's a decent amount on here. I can gladly show you this. I'm not sure what that logo is. It's like a red ribbon. But we can, go ahead.
So any updates that are done will just automatically come through to your
Correct.
smart TV. You don't have to do
Yeah, she's asking any updates that are done to it. So if they decide, hey, we're going to add this channel to it, it's not, oh, that's our exclusive package, $55 a month. You'll have access to it like that.
And this then would eliminate the need for antenna TV in order to get local channels.
She asked if this would eliminate antenna TV. So if any of those, and if you want, we can show you the list if you want to come up afterwards.
Those are what we get.
Yeah, we can show you the local channels. If they're available, you have access to them through that app. So yeah, it's a good, now however, just to give you the flip side of it, hey, they just signed a new deal and they just got Cartoon Network or something. All right, you have access to it immediately. But they lost their license agreement with this one, so that one will be gone. So it works both ways. Go ahead.
Are any of the systems, do any of them pick up PBS?
She asked if any of them pick up PBS. I think Sling has PBS. When we get to that, I will look at it for you.
One at this point.
I will look for that for you when we get to Sling. If it's not on the slide, I will look online for you. I believe so that Sling has PBS, though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm confused on how you would get it. Like the man said, when you're challenged and you call up Hulu.
Okay, so she asked, she's saying she's confused how you would get it. So you would go to Hulu's website and you would sign up, which is just, hey, here's my email, here's my name,
You
and
just- on the
here's my
computer,
card.
you
Yes,
call up
right on the
to,
computer.
like, Hulu, like HULU and,
Yep, Hulu.com, and you can sign right up. If
And
you
then it comes automatically onto your TV.
And then
It won't
what it would
say
do is if you want it on your TV, you would have to put it onto your TV, and there's different ways. Your TV might come default with a Hulu app, or if it doesn't, we're going to show you some devices, and it's not like, oh, you need this $600 device. One of them's like 30 bucks. And that can turn, if your TV already doesn't have the capability to get the Hulu app. If your TV has access to an app store, you can go right on the app store and get Hulu, and the Hulu app is free. You just pay for the monthly subscription.
I have an LG TV. Hulu didn't come like when you first buy it. When I first bought it, didn't have the Hulu app on it directly. But I just went to their app store that's on the TV itself, and they had Hulu there, and I just downloaded it. So they have an app store. I say app store. The apps are free. The subscription is based on the company, which would be Hulu. But to actually download their app is free itself.
For instance, if you gave your TV, if it didn't have access to Hulu and you gave it the Roku, and you download, hey, I want my Hulu on here, you download the Hulu app. There's no charge. You just have to keep paying that subscription. So it's like, oh, okay, you pay us monthly, but now you need to pay us $10 if you want the app. No, there's none of that.
Pretty much every Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, there's always like a starting, like a week free or maybe a month free. So you can try it. If you don't like it, you can always cancel it before you actually get hit. So that's always an option. So you don't have to buy it and then see it. They typically have a free trial.
Go ahead.
Okay, I have an older smart TV.
Okay.
Doesn't really have apps on it.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we have, she said she has the older smart TV. We have a whole bunch of things that we can show you on how you can bring it up to date without having to go buy a whole new television for you.
Okay, just one more.
Go ahead.
So does the Geek Squad come out and set that up for you?
Yes.
If you are technically challenged?
Yes, absolutely. We can get to anyone's house and we can do stuff for you on that. We're really good with that. That's one of the main reasons that our stock's doing pretty good, is because we'll come to your house and we'll take care of all this kind of stuff for you if you would like. Go ahead.
Will one subscription cover multiple TVs in the same house?
So he's asking if one subscription will cover multiple TVs in the same house. With Hulu Live Beta, from what I'm understanding, what I was reading about it, because I was new to it and I can double check for you, it's not going to be like, hey, if you are in the living room and I'm in the dining room and we're watching at the same time, one of us is going to have to be watching, not both, on Hulu Live TV. Now Netflix has that option where, hey, for the $11.99 version, you can put on 3 different screens. For the Hulu Live TV, you're paying for 1. Now, you can be watching in the living room. Oh, I'm going to go lay down, so I'm going to go in the bedroom. Okay, turn it off in the living room and turn it on in the bedroom. Just not simultaneously.
Now, here's a good option is, aside from Hulu Live TV, if anyone's familiar with YouTube, YouTube now has live TV as well. What YouTube is pretty much an open resource to upload videos to. You can pretty much find anything you could ever think of. There's probably a video for it on YouTube. Trying to change your brakes in your car, there's probably a video for your specific car. And honestly, that's pretty much where I primarily listen to music. I don't buy CDs or anything anymore. I just go to YouTube, and the whole entire album is probably on YouTube. I just listen to it from there. Now, they've started a new streaming of live TV. It's $35 a month, and you get unlimited storage space. There is no limit on storage. You can record DVR, record on YouTube, unlimited amount. There's no limit. There's also, can go up to 5 devices simultaneously. 6. Sorry,
6 accounts, 3 simultaneous.
6 accounts with 3 simultaneous devices. So while Hulu had that restriction, YouTube, you can simultaneously do live TV up to 3 devices. Now, go ahead.
Another thing with their DVR is even though you're getting unlimited storage, the stuff stays there for 9 months if you don't delete it yourself.
Yep.
And if you save something and you don't remember about it or anything like that, after 9 months it will delete. Or you can go ahead and delete it yourself at any point.
Yep. And I believe they have even a longer list of shows than this, than Hulu.
Sir in the blue?
Yes.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
You have the Disney Channel up there, but I understand Disney is going to start a streaming. How would you pick up their streaming channel?
So she asked Disney, since Disney's starting, to my knowledge, Disney's starting their own version of Netflix. Not sure how it's going to affect licensing agreements yet. I know that they have announced they're not going to be renewing a lot of it with Netflix. I don't know how they're going to do with the live TV stuff, but they're going to take a lot of their movies off of Netflix in order to give them like a competitive edge over Netflix. So that is to be seen. Go ahead.
Can all the stuff in my closet, except for maybe my router, go away? devices, the boxes?
I'm not sure, like, if you're, are you talking about like a cable box, stuff like that? If you're calling it quits with your cable company, then you won't need that. You will need, modem router combination, but you won't need all that kind of additional stuff.
Like, my house has six different DVR boxes. We would get rid of that, so, because this is all based on an app, like, it's on the TV itself. You don't have to have any boxes for any of that. Even the HDR, the DVR for recording, you're not recording to a box. You're recording to YouTube's cloud or Hulu's cloud. That's all internet-based. You don't have a physical device that you're copying it to. You just sign in with your account and watch it.
Go ahead, man.
So we have the cable company because we have our internet and our cable.
Right.
Is that right? If we want to keep the computer stuff with them because they have good security, but we don't want that TV part, can you divide it up like that and get rid of?
So her question, just so everyone in the back can hear it, so she's saying, okay, she pays the company for her internet and her cable. Can she just do one? Yes. They will try to keep you by saying, hey, if you package them together, it's cheaper. But it's like, okay, it's like $240 for both, or it's like, and these are just arbitrary prices, or it's $80 for one. But if you do both, then the 80 portion is only going to be 60. So it's an extra 20 bucks or extra 100 or whatever bucks. So yes, you can just pay one. That's what I did when I cut ties with my cable company. I only pay for the internet now because I use services like these. So you can just get one. And the trick that I learned with the major providers around here, and a lot of time, even if you don't even use a home phone, you can bundle your internet with a home phone, and your internet will go down 10, 20 bucks. I don't even have the home phone hooked up, so go ahead.
You keep referring to an app.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what that means.
Okay, so he is saying, I keep referring to app. He's not sure what that means. So let's say you buy a phone. You have your iPhone, right? So
I want to go on a TV.
yeah, no, absolutely. It's the same concept on the TV. You buy the TV. And the TV, by default, doesn't have the Hulu app on it. Your TV is going to have what's called an app store, and you go on there, and you look for what you want. So it's like you just go into the app store, and you type Hulu. It's like, think of it as it's like a program for that TV. So that app, that Hulu app, which you would just go into the app store and look for, you literally would just type Hulu or Netflix or whichever, and it will download it into the TV for you. And then you'll have a button right there that says Netflix or Hulu.
Is that on the smart or regular TV?
That's on smart TVs. If you're on regular TV, then there are ways to get it, and we'll be covering, that's towards the end of the presentation. We have devices that will turn a non-smart TV into a smart TV, and it's significantly cheaper.
So are you a Windows or Mac user?
I'm sorry?
Windows. So,
There you go.
You know, on your computer,
Smart.
how you probably have Word, Excel, and all that. Those are programs. Apps is just another word for a program.
Applications.
It's application.
Yeah,
That's
they're
all it
applications.
is. And just, they changed the term for mobile devices to say apps, just because it'd be something different and easier to say for mobile devices. But it's the exact same thing. It's just another term for it.
Yeah, and if you have a smart TV or if you have a streaming device that you plug into a non-smart TV to turn into it, it'll be right there. It'll be called the App Store. And you would just type it in, Netflix, and you'll see it and you can download it. Go ahead.
Okay. With apps,
Mhm.
is it possible that the Hulu would be downloaded onto the Fire Stick?
So she asked, with apps, is it possible for the Hulu to be downloaded to the Fire Stick? So yeah, anything, when you grab the Roku or you grab the Fire Stick, any of that stuff, they're going to have the Hulu app.
Which we've got a whole list of.
Yeah, we have a whole thing towards the end.
I'm going to get that Fire Stick, but then I have to still subscribe.
Correct.
Yes. So you would have the app, and the app is free, but you would need to log into it. And that's where your monthly subscription to Hulu would come in.
If you have a Fire Stick, do you have to get this additional piece of equipment to make it?
The Fire Stick is the equipment.
Yeah, the Fire Stick is your equipment. There's nothing else
So
besides
the Fire
that.
Stick, all it's doing is allowing your TV to utilize apps.
And if your TV can already use the app, you don't need the Fire Stick. Go ahead.
Did I understand, because we have three people living in our home,
Mm-hmm.
with everyone has their own TV, and they don't watch the same thing. I
Mhm.
can't do that with this?
Yeah, live TV.
This is,
Now,
yeah.
Hulu has a bunch of shows that you can watch, and they can be simultaneous across different devices. But when you access their live TV, the live TV portion is one at a time.
Yeah.
But so you can watch the live TV and being the other part of their app on another device watching a TV show that's part of normal Hulu.
When you're paying for the live TV along with Hulu, you still have access to all the regular Hulu stuff that's on there. So you could be in one room watching live TV, and if I'm in the house with you, I could be over here watching like a show that's on Hulu regularly. Go ahead. So with the NFL package, we will be getting into that one. But if you, this one, they do have Hulu Live. I don't know if they have, do they have the NFL games though? I think.
They got ESPN, ESPN2,
Yeah.
ESPN News.
So, but like I said, the problem with the NFL stuff is there's a lot of blackout dates. There's a lot of blackout dates. Because I was talking to someone who was using this because I'm not a big sports guy, so I was asking like this kind of thing. The blackout dates can be really annoying with that. So the NFL stuff, it gets a little more complicated with that.
When you say blackout, you mean local games?
No, I'm not sure if it's just limited to local, but I do not believe so. Yeah.
NFL, NHL, MLB, all the major sports, they all have their own specific apps that are free. Most of the time, you can go right to their app and watch any game at any time you want. No matter when it landed, you can always watch any of the games. But they only have a very select and what they choose to be live. So you might not be able to watch all your live games through that, but they do have a selection that they choose which is live on that app.
Take ESPN, for example, where they'll show you every game that's played throughout the day, but maybe every third one will be live where you can actually view it. The other ones will just tell you scores and what's been going on throughout the game.
I guess the issue is, if you're interested in one specific team, Dish, you can do that for Dish.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to be available now or in the future. Like, I'm a Patriots fan, so I want to watch the Patriots every week. The only way I can do that is to go direct to this now.
There's still, when it comes to the sports and that issue, especially, and I know it's just from talking to people that have come to the store to tell me about it with stuff like that, with NFL especially, they have a lot of weird restrictions. Like I was saying earlier, one of the restrictions they place on it, you can't watch it on your phone. So even if, hey, they have our channel, and they can watch our games, and they can watch this, that, and the other thing, but not on your phone, only from a browser. So there's always restrictions, and it's going to be extremely dependent, and they change the rules a lot when it comes to the sports stuff. So but there are sports packages for Sling, which I've gotten some good feedback on, and we'll be covering those. Go ahead. And we're going to go to the next slide after this.
If you want Hulu Live and the Hulu app, are they together, or do you have to buy both of them separately?
She was asking if you wanted Hulu Live and the Hulu. No. If you're paying for the Hulu Live, you get the whole Hulu library.
The whole thing,
yep.
So it's on an extra $11. And secondly, you're talking about on your smartphone. If you have a router in your house, can't you watch it through your router on your smartphone as opposed to using the smartphone's video? Do they know, like you'd be streaming it to your TV to watch it?
Yes.
Through the browser. Could you stream it to your phone?
So yes, on your phone, you can still connect to your Wi-Fi at home and use your Wi-Fi network as that instead
As
of your
to
data.
see it on your phone, as long as you're within reach of a router.
As long as your phone connects to your Wi-Fi, it immediately, all the apps will automatically view it through your Wi-Fi. They're not going to eat up your data.
Right, okay.
Okay. And we'll gladly, if you have more questions for this, feel free to approach us afterwards. We'll be hanging out here for like 30, 40 minutes after, and we'll gladly answer all the questions. So, Amazon Prime Video. This is number 3. So the big 3 titles in this kind of stuff, Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, $8.99 a month. They have a lot of good TV shows and movies, but there are some odd things about it. So when you go on Amazon Prime, you'll see, hey, yeah, they brag, they have the biggest title count, 20,000 titles, blah, 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 blah. But not all of them are available to just because you have Amazon Prime and you pay monthly. So like, oh, here's 30 movies, but these 5 movies, you can buy them from Amazon Prime, and it's a digital version, so you can watch it right on your computer right now, but it's not covered by your monthly subscription. You need to pay $3.99 to watch this movie. So they do have the biggest title count, but rules and restrictions apply. One of the main things, and this is how most people watch Amazon Prime Video, is if you get the $10.99 version or the yearly, and we'll show you that one next, you get their account with the whole Amazon Prime, the free 2-day shipping, and all the streaming services in one. So one of their main edges over their competitors of Netflix and Hulu, is that they can mix in the shopping and the actual Amazon website with the streaming. So you can watch our TV shows, you can watch our movies, and they do have a good amount of original content. Them and Netflix are really pumping them out. Like in original content, it is, hey, Amazon made this, Amazon paid for it, it's only available for Amazon. Netflix made this, Netflix paid for it, it's only available on Netflix. So Amazon, Netflix, that's their huge push. But one of the main advantages they have. Also, they do have a music service. And the most popular package is this next one, which is their yearly plan. So for $100 for the year, you can get access to their streaming. It comes out to $8.25 a month. You get unlimited access to their streaming, and you get the free 2-day shipping, and you'll save on the actual plan because you're paying yearly. So this is a popular option for people. And they do have it, like I said, music service, they have Audible, they have a whole bunch of other services incorporated into it. Their whole plan is, hey, we're going to package it.
What are they shipping?
I'm sorry?
What is it they're shipping?
He asked what they are shipping. Yeah, literally.
Anything you buy.
Yeah, his question was, what are they shipping? Literally anything. What it is from the Amazon website. So you buy something from Amazon website, not only do you have their streaming services, but you have their Prime, which is all their shipping and their shopping, stuff like that. And there's like exclusive Prime packages on like this, that, and the other thing. And they have, yeah, and if you use the Amazon Echo, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can work in with that as well.
If you do a lot of shopping on Amazon, having Amazon Prime can be pretty good, especially with the free 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
So you can get, don't have to pay anything extra, just get 2 days to your product.
And their main thing is, hey, this is our advantage over the competitors. Why pay Netflix and us for our shipping when you can just look at our streaming service? But as I said, rules and restrictions apply. You'll go on there, oh, I want to watch this movie. Not covered under Amazon Prime, $3.99. Stuff like that. Go ahead.
Does Amazon have the same type of local channels that you just saw?
No. If local channels are a priority to you or news is a priority to you, this is not the solution for you.
Now, just because one doesn't have over the other, it's not like you have to pick and choose. I have Netflix and Amazon Prime. You can have more than one. So
And mind you,
I can have YouTube Live, and I can have Amazon Prime, and I can have Netflix, which is all still cheaper than having a cable.
yeah, main advantage of that, he's like, I have Netflix, Amazon Prime, he's still under 20 bucks.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, oh, I really like this about this one and this about this one. Well, you're still nowhere near the price point that you would be with your cable company. Main things included with the Amazon Prime is the Prime membership, music, stuff like that, all the shipping. Amazon Prime, numerous videos that you can add. So Showtime, Starz, Cinemax, HBO. If you want to add an add-on package, you can. So if I'm really into Showtime, okay, well then this one has something you can add on. You're really into HBO, Game of Thrones, stuff like that, you can do an add-on for this. Add-on is big on Sling TV when we get to that as well. HD content is included in the base plan. You do not get HD with Netflix on that $7.99 plan. You'd have to go up to the $11.99 one. The Amazon Originals, very high quality. That's a huge push. If you're a traveler, limited content if you try to access your stuff outside the United States. But it depends on you if you're a big traveler or not. And as I was saying, not all of it. And some of it you can rent only, so you can't buy it. It's like, oh, rent it. You can watch it tonight, 50 cents, something like that. Not all. They do have the biggest title count. Not all of them are licensed for the free streaming. The HD content is a little more limited, and more devices are Netflix ready than Amazon Prime ready, meaning the apps that we were talking about. You're going to have a lot of way easier time getting Netflix on everything. Amazon, it's common. It's on a lot of devices, but it's not as common as Netflix and Hulu. Any questions for this? Go ahead.
Okay, I've got a 4K HD TV I bought from you guys 2 years ago. I'm not sure Amazon Prime is going to be on there, but can I download the app to it?
Yeah, so he said he has a 4K HD TV he bought about 2 years ago. Can he download the app? You would access the App Store on your TV, and if there isn't an Amazon Prime app, there's devices you can add to get the Amazon Prime app. So no matter what, you will be able to get on there. Not every single TV has every single app. So you would have to look on your App Store on your TV and see if you can. But if you don't...
Smart TV, though, can I download it to the TV, or am I going to need a separate device?
If it's a smart TV, you can download the app to the TV. But if you don't have access to the app because it's not on that App Store for your model, then you would be getting an additional device. And these additional devices, don't think it's like, oh, it's this giant box I'm going to have to pay $300 for. It's nothing like that. There's no subscription fee to these things. Like, it's not like a box we're going to put in your house and it's per TV, you're paying $8. Nothing. It's nothing like that. It's like a one. We're going to get to them. We have all of them laid out for you.
When we're talking about like the app stores from TVs, it's still limited. Like when we're talking about Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu. Now, the actual cable company, not cable company, but channels like HBO. HBO has their own app and their own streaming that you can pay for just by itself. It's called HBO Now. You don't have to have a cable subscription. You subscribe to HBO Now, and you can download the app to your TV or other streaming device. But it's limited. Like, I believe it's either Samsung or Sony. They don't have a license to put HBO Now on that TV. So you can go to like that app store on the TV. You might not be able to guarantee to have that app. Now, there's still a way to get it on the TV because HBO Now is still available on all the other streaming devices, like a Chromecast or Roku. You can still get the app on that and still put it on TV. But going to the actual TV's app store, it might not be there.
Go ahead.
Real quick, another big thing also, including with Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, certain things you can actually download for offline viewing. So on Netflix, they have a time limit of until they drop it from their service. While Amazon, it's as long as the content provider gives you. Could be a week, could be a day. But you can actually download it for offline viewing.
Good. So he said he had a lot of questions about antenna TV. I regret putting this at the bottom. I should have put this at the top. And I've heard the same thing now both from the guy who organized this event and from my grandfather. Check with your HOA because there's a lot of odd like rules and stuff like that with it. If you're looking to put an antenna up, check with your HOA. And as he said, and my grandfather said the exact same thing, they're kind of complaint driven where it's like, oh, you have a shed on top of your house, but no one's complaining, so we're not paying attention. But as someone drives by and they file it, check with your HOA on the rules on this. Antennas, though, they're common. There's a lot of questions about it. And here's the facts about it. If you're going to get an antenna, minimum 60-mile antenna, much better if it's 70 or higher. Much better if it's 70 or higher. You're going to be getting around here 36 to 42 channels, give or take a few. And that does include worship and Spanish and old-time movie channels, which is fine if that's what you're looking for, but just realize that's going to be some of what you are getting. It needs to be facing southeast and it needs to be above the tree line. But I can't emphasize it enough. Check with your HOA. I've had more than enough, like plenty of people come in and be like, oh, I got it, the antenna didn't have really all the channels I wanted, and then my neighbor said it looked ugly. So check with your HOA on that. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I think you swung me from Sling to Hulu, but we're not done with that. So with Hulu, I wouldn't need an antenna, but I was in Best Buy last week and I was trying to get a little information on this. And I know you sell the antennas, but the gal told me that you couldn't install the pole. If I decide to go in that direction, can you recommend a vendor who can do that? Because I don't want any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
So yeah, she was asking if she did go with the antenna route. Yeah, we can't install the antenna, and the whole reason we honestly were just like washing our hands of this is because of the HOA stuff. Whereas like this neighborhood's like, oh yeah, do it, it's fine, and this neighborhood's saying no, and this one. So I don't know anything off the top of my head. I can help look around for you though, if you would like to meet with me afterwards, if you decide to go the route of antenna. But off the top of my head, I'm not sure of one. But I will just say, if you guys come into our store and you purchase the antenna, we cannot install it for you. It's in this area with HOA. It's a battle.
And somebody said you really don't want to put it in the attic.
I have heard that as well, but I don't really. But the whole thing with the antenna, I mean, yes, it's cost effective, I suppose, but with all the other options that I'm showing, there's a lot better options out there. Yeah.
And before you give up on Sling TV, we're not done talking about that. It has its own live TV shows now as well. Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions about antennas? Okay. So Sling TV. So what is it? So Sling TV, it's a service. It's a service that's going to let you watch your live TV and on demand. And it is like certain channels, and you can watch it. TVs, computers, mobile devices. It is owned by Dish. It's operated separately from like their actual Dish network, but it is owned by Dish. Because this is just going into the streaming market saying, hey, we can't just keep making people mad. Like, so this is kind of winning over. So Only in the United States. It is a cheaper alternative to a lot of TV shows. It does require a decent internet connection and a compatible device. A lot of TVs are going to be okay with it, and if you don't, your TV doesn't have a Sling app, plenty of devices that we can show you. No contracts, cancel anytime, Netflix, but live TV. Go ahead.
How good the internet?
If you're having your standard package like what we were talking about earlier, you're going to be okay.
Does it go off when the storms come through like this?
If your internet is down, your Sling is down.
Because this isn't going by your antenna or dish.
Yeah, this is
Separate.
it's coming through your internet. So if your internet is down, your Sling is down. Think of it that way.
Dish just owns it and creates it. It's not actually part of their dish.
2 basic packages on Sling, and I'll be right there with questions. I'll just cover the 2 packages, and then I will answer as many questions as you guys would like. The orange package, which is $20 a month, and here are the channels that it comes with. Now, Sling has add-ons. They have tons of add-ons. So if you're like, hey, I like this, that, but I want this, you can see the add-on. So it'll be like, oh, $20, and then your add-on will be another $5. And it depends on you and what the add-on is that you would like. I think the HBO add-on is one of the pricier ones. And we do have handouts for this if you want to hand out and see what that's orange and the blue one. And you can combine them, orange and blue. Go ahead to the blue. The blue, 25. A couple more channels. From my understanding, the blue has, if you're bigger into news, stuff like that, blue is the way to go.
Any PBS yet?
We will find, she asked if there's any PBS. We will find out for you about the PBS. I will find something for you on PBS. Yes, TBS. Can you see if PBS has an add-on for Sling? Yeah, it might be an add-on.
On Dish, I have 2 different PBS channels.
PBS might be an add-on. He's going to look now for the add-on on that. But these other things, and with Sling TV, like I said, you're paying $20-25, and you're going to get these live channels. Go ahead.
I don't even see the regular channels on there, ABC, CBS.
There was on the first one. But so these are the add-ons. These aren't all the add-ons. There are a ton of add-ons. There's a huge list on their website, and we can show you if you want to bring your phone up to one of us, and we can pull the whole list of add-ons. This is just a very limited example. There are tons of them. But just so you can see how you can kind of cater it to yourself. So if you're really big into Stars, Showtime, you're really big into, you want the lifestyles channel, stuff like that.
But now you're up to 10, 9.
Yes, as she was saying, now you're up to this, that, and the other thing.
Same as you are with CenturyLink.
You're not going to be up there in the 100. You're going to be a little lower on that, but you are paying. Yeah.
54.
Yeah, you're not going to be way up there, but you are going to be up there if live TV is what's important to you. The prices do add up. If you're like, I want blue and I want 6 add-ons, it's going to add up. So that's why it's nice, because you can pick and choose what you would like. Go ahead.
You said this thing runs off of Dish, right?
No.
No. It doesn't run off of Dish. Dish owns it, but they're completely separate entities.
So if you have a Dish now, they still have to come take all that stuff down?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with Dish, except being owned by it. But the current cable network that they're running, nothing to do with that. This is them entering the streaming market with it. Like I said, if you want to see the add-ons, there are tons of add-ons, so you can cater it to your own. And you can do the orange and the blue package together, and it bundles down. Did you see anything for that?
So PBS is not on any of the streaming services because they have their own PBS Anywhere app. It's available on Android, Apple, and Windows.
Okay, so to answer the question about PBS, it's not on the streaming services because they offer their own. So they have their own app. So as we were talking with these, you would get like the Fire Stick or the Roku, or if your TV can look for the app, you would get the PBS app. Do you know the cost?
It didn't show cost.
Okay, we'll look and see if we can find cost for you. I'm sorry?
Did you say it might be on Roku?
It would most likely be on the Roku. We can look at the Roku-capable apps for you after.
Apple TV,
It's going to be, yeah. The more popular ones are going to be on there.
Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, it'll be on there.
So if PBS is what's important to you, we can look and see what it is. So you could get, hey, Netflix for $10 and then whatever PBS wants a month.
I already have Amazon Prime.
There you go.
And I have Netflix.
There you go. Go ahead.
The orange and blue are mutually exclusive? In other words...
He asked the orange and the blue are mutually exclusive. You would choose one or the other. You can bundle them both together. I think it's like $35 if you get them both together. I can look at the price. It'd be on their website. I'm almost positive. I think it's $35 if you get both.
CNN is repeated.
Go ahead.
Ma'am?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you watch it on more than one TV? Or is there a device that you plug into your TV? Can you
So it's not a device, it is an app. I'm not sure about the screen limit. That's a good question. We will look that up afterwards for you. Okay. So the Sling box. Now this is one thing. It's a little different than the Sling TV. If you are a snowbird and you're paying for a cable package up north and you don't want to be paying for another one down south, basically this is going to allow you to like imitate your package up north down here. So you don't have to pay for both. So what the Sling box is, there's two of them, a $9.99 version and a $2.99 version. It's an audio video device. It's going to let you control your TV. It's called place shifting. And what it is, hey, I have all this amazing stuff up north. I have a good deal on it. I want to keep it. I'm not paying another $300 down here to do that. Don't even get me involved in that. So you can just imitate it down here, exactly what you have up there. You can control it from laptop, phone, tablet, or television. And what it is, the Sling Player, that's the app that you would use to do it. All of these are going to be app-driven. So you would go into the App Store and you would look for the Sling Player. It's only usable by one person at the same time. So if I'm your grandson and I'm up north and I'm living it up because you're down in the villages for the summer, all right, I can't be watching TV while you're using it. Because you are using your TV, basically. You're mirroring it. So, and vice versa.
So I had to call my grandson to see what I could watch.
And lock him out of the house. So he can't be watching it for you. So it's not both. And the only difference between these two, it's going to add some HDMI connections. So you can get the $9.99 one unless you need a ton of HDMI connections on it. But that's the main thing on this. So if you are a snowbird and you're like, hey, I'm all set up north, I don't want to pay for both, this is a really good solution for you. Go ahead.
Who would have control, up north or down south?
Yeah, it's whoever's on there first, really. But you know, hopefully you're not in that competitive of a nature with people you're living with. Any questions for the Sling box? As I said, this one's really popular amongst snowbirds. Go ahead. Now, we're going to start covering the devices that I was talking about with all these apps. So you can save a lot of money on this kind of stuff. This is one of the main ones that we have. This one's extremely popular. Now, what this is going to do, and one of the main things, this is the one I personally use. And each of us use different ones, and we can give you some personal feedback on what we do with it. But this goes into the HDMI of your television, right here, and then this plugs in. This has to be plugged into your wall and powered. It is not powered by your television. You set it up once using your phone. You connect to a Google app, and it just connects to your Wi-Fi. You set it up once, and you're all set. And what that's going to do, you can watch whatever you're watching on a device, and you can cast it. So Netflix, for example. If I'm watching Netflix or I'm watching Hulu or any of these, I have the Sling Player on my phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm done watching on my phone. I want to throw it to the TV. It's a simple button. It's going to put it up on the TV for me, and my phone's the remote. I can control the volume and pause it with my phone. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to go into the kitchen now, and I have a TV in the kitchen. If I have one of these plugged into the kitchen, I can just say, all right, stop, send it to the living room, send it to the kitchen. So this is a nice one. And this, $35 for the regular, or if you're a 4K fan, $69.99. But for the regular one, $35. There's no monthly subscription to this. There's nothing. So if your TV, for those of you who were asking earlier, if your TV does not have the app you're looking for, but you can do it on your phone, $35 solution for you. And you're paying monthly for, like, you know, whatever you're getting, the Sling or the Netflix or the Hulu or whatever. There's nothing like that with this.
Forgot to mention this earlier. If you're getting into the newer TVs with 4K capability, right now Netflix has the most amount of 4K programming. No Hulu, Amazon, nowhere near the content that.
Yeah, it's a significant amount. She's asking you can run this through your iPad. So what you would do is if you're watching something on your iPad, so I have Hulu, I have Netflix, or I have, you know, Sling Player, whatever on my iPad, I would just cast it from my iPad to the TV. I'm not running this from my iPad, but this allows me to put what's on my iPad on the television. Now, Apple TV, HDMI connection to television as well. You can stream your iTunes content. So there are some people who are really big in Apple, really big into iTunes, and they get all their stuff off iTunes. They purchase it through iTunes, and they need to watch their iTunes stuff. If that's you and you mostly use Apple and iTunes, this is going to be the one that you're going to want. It has its own controller, it has a microphone in it, and it has a whole bunch of built-in apps, and this is $149.99. This is the solution for you if you have iTunes stuff, if you're focused mostly on iTunes. It's not for everyone, it's for that.
Is that a monthly charge?
No, none of these devices we're showing you are monthly charges.
It's just
Yeah.
final price to buy the device.
So, for instance, this, you would just pay $149.99, but your monthly charge would be from your Netflix or your Hulu subscription. That's one of the main advantages. It's not like with the cable company where, oh, you have 3 TVs and you need a box for all 3 of them, $20 for each. No, there's none of that. You buy this device once and you plug it into your television.
Now, with Apple TV, it's really good if you have Apple devices. Outside of that, there's probably better things to use like Chromecast or Roku.
And
but
actually,
Apple TV, which is great for like if you have an iPhone or an iPad, because you can mirror what you're looking at on the phone or the TV or iPad to the TV. So if you're playing a game, you don't want to use your small screen, you can mirror it to your Apple TV and look at it on the TV and play.
Play Bejeweled in 4K.
Yeah.
But just so like the woman in the back who said, oh, well, I have an iPad. If you're not purchasing all your shows and stuff on iTunes, like paying money, buying it through iTunes, you don't have to stick with this. You can use the Chromecast and do that. But if you're making the purchases through iTunes, that's when you're going to want this. Okay? So the Roku, there are numerous versions of the Roku. Numerous versions, and we have a handout that has like more detail for each one. They have a ton of them. But basically what the Roku is going to do, exactly what the other two do, they just turn it into a smart TV for you. They're going to have their own app store. Same thing with the Fire Stick. And it's going to be, depending on what is important to you, and we have a whole list of all the differences. There's like 10 of them, or more, a few more I think than that. But it's just a way to turn a non-smart TV into a smart TV, or if your smart TV lacks the app you need. Again, now these devices might not even be necessary for you. Look up on your own TV's app store and, hey, Hulu's the one I'm going to go with. All right, does my TV have Hulu? No. Okay, I can grab the Chromecast or I can grab the Roku, etc. Or Fire Stick is the other option there. Go ahead.
If my TV, when I go to look on apps, does not list, say, Netflix, there's an app store also on the TV that I can...
So she said if my TV does not list Netflix, is there an app store? So if your TV by default doesn't have the Netflix app, you can go into your app store and see if there's Netflix.
On the TV
On the
itself.
TV without any of these.
It has to be a smart TV.
Yeah.
It's actually, it lists Netflix, it doesn't list Amazon.
Yeah,
So
that's
not
fine
every-
because then you would get one of these.
If your TV's not a smart TV, it's not going to have an app store.
If your TV is not a smart TV, get one of these. And now all of a sudden you have a smart TV for significantly less. Go ahead.
No matter how old our TV is, like 7 years old.
Do you have an HDMI connection? As long as you have HDMI.
As long as it has HDMI, you're
Yep.
good.
As long as you have an HDMI.
I have Roku on a Blu-ray player.
Yep. As long as you have an HDMI connection, you're good.
Sometimes Blu-ray players even come with these apps built into themselves. So, and if you have grandsons or maybe that like to play at your house, maybe they have like a PlayStation or an Xbox. All these apps can be used on that device as well. They pretty much have them, and that has most of the limitations that you'll find on TVs getting apps. PlayStation, Xbox don't have those limitations. You can pretty much find any app on those.
You're going to have the same functionality as a smart TV when you plug one of these into a non-smart TV. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not savvy on most of the stuff. So if I were to come to your store and I would have a list as to what the make and model of my TV, what I'd like to watch, you can help me as to which Roku I could use?
Absolutely. We have a whole bunch of them. We have an entire Roku display there if the Roku is the one you would want to go.
If you're wanting to specifically talk to Geek Squad, make sure to make an appointment. You go by appointments.
We are in snowbird season. We are very popular people. Go ahead.
I've heard you've come out to the house and we'll check it out and make recommendations as to what to do if you want to...
Absolutely. She said she heard we come to the house. We do consultations. There's no charge for those.
How do I make an appointment for one?
So for those, you would come into the store, and if you're looking for something like this, you'd go up to Home Theater, which is in the back middle of our store, and just tell them you'd want an in-home consultation. This and this and this is what you're looking for, and they'll sign one right up for you. And we'll go home and we'll go through everything for you on that. Yep. Go ahead.
I don't know if I want to even bring this up, and maybe you should cut me off.
No, you're fine.
Have you heard of Set TV?
I have not.
Okay. It's a box that you buy for about, I don't know, what is it, about less than $200. And the service is either $20 a month or $200 a year, which is less than $20 a month.
Yeah.
And it provides all the channels, except local, I think.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
And provides-
Set TV?
SET.
So I don't know if it's...
provides all the premium channels.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's along the same lines as Kodi.
I think I know what you're talking about. If it's what I'm thinking of, technically that is illegal.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay, so I know because
There are some
the
devices that do that, and they're considered.
yeah, so it might not be, but that's something we'd have to look into that one because I haven't heard of that one. That's
There's a
interesting.
real big drawback on it, though.
What is it?
They don't have a guide. a
Ah,
channel guide.
so you're kind of feeling it out.
And that's terrible.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about replacing it with using that, think very hard.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you repeat your comment about if your TV has an HDMI?
Yeah, absolutely. So as long as your TV has an HDMI connection, as long as you can plug HDMI devices into your television, whether it's a smart TV or not, you get full functionality from these devices. And you have everything that the smart TV has for like 35 bucks. So you made out like a bandit in that sense. So it does not have to be a smart TV. As long as you have HDMI, you have full functionality. These devices that you're plugging into your TV will connect your TV to the internet, will give you access to an app store, and give you a whole bunch of stuff. It does not need to be a smart TV. Just the HDMI connection, which has been, common for quite a while now. Go ahead. We're going to look that up because I'm curious. Go ahead.
It's on the internet.
Yeah.
Roku and Fire Stick for each television in order to...
So she asked if you need Roku and Fire Stick for each television. So if you need the app specifically from Roku or the Fire Stick, yes, you're going to need, hey, I have 3 televisions, I'm going to need 3 Google Chromecast or 3 Fire or whatever. You need one for each of your televisions that you have there.
Okay, and then I can watch anything I want anywhere.
Absolutely, on all the TVs that are plugged in. Yes. But if, one television might be a smart television and you have access to it, but then, I have a slightly older television mounted in my kitchen, that's not a smart TV, so you wouldn't need the one in the living room, but you would need the one in the TV.
Okay.
So,
conceivably, you could
yes.
have everything working with a Fire Stick or a Roku.
Absolutely. And my suggestion, if it's multiple TVs, Google Chromecast. It's only 35 bucks, and you can, hey, from your phone, I have my phone, send to this TV, send to that TV, and you can control it all from your phone.
Yeah, but I can't watch it at the same time. Where I have, there's other people in the house.
So let's say you and I are in the house, and we have Netflix, and we're paying for the higher Netflix where you can do 3 or 5. You would be on your phone in the living room, casting to living room. I'll be on my phone in the bedroom, casting to the bedroom. Another person could be in the dining room, casting to the dining room.
But not for Hulu Live.
Not for Hulu Live. I will look it up with Hulu Live because I'm not sure there's screen limitations, and it's in beta, so it's changing all the time with that because they're feeling it out and they're trying to get into the live TV market with Sling.
Right,
Go ahead.
For back to his question.
1 second. Go ahead.
So he was talking about set TVs. Set TVs are boxes you can pay for with a subscription to watch live TV. That part's legal. It's fine. The reason why I was thinking it might be illegal, there is a legal gray area where you can actually modify that box to bypass subscription fees. That's what comes into being illegal, but set TVs by themselves are perfectly fine. Yeah.
Go ahead, ma'am.
What if I don't want to use my phone? If I want TV, I don't want to have the phone all the time to use it.
So she's saying, what if she doesn't want to use the phone? Then it just wouldn't be the Google Chromecast for you. You could go with the Fire Stick, and you'll have a remote that controls the Fire Stick. Some people are like, hey, I don't want to deal with all these extra remotes. I want as little as possible. Okay, plug a Chromecast in, use your phone. If you're on the other side of that, and you're like, hey, I want a remote. I don't want to be using my phone for everything. You can use the Fire Stick. No matter what, there's a solution for you. Go ahead.
I have a Fire Stick, and all the latest movies are there for you to watch. What are the legal implications for that,
So with the Fire Stick, if you plug it in, you see the movies on there.
Yeah, you can get I can watch movies that are at the theater.
Oh yeah, you can get things that are like brand new like that. There's just a charge. It would depend on what it is, and also one thing about the Fire Stick, which is cool, and I was helping one of my grandparents' friends with this. If you're paying the cable company and you're, hey, I get this channel, you can get a code from that channel, and you can get the app for that channel, so like the HBO, whatever it is that you have, so you can watch the app, which the app alone, like how PBS is their own subscription. Well, if you get PBS through your cable package, you can get PBS On Demand through here, through the app, and you don't have to pay for the app separately because you're already paying through it through your cable company.
Like AMC provides content on their website to watch, so you can be anywhere without your cable subscription to watch any of their content. The key thing is that you still got to have a cable subscription. So even though I might be in, I don't know, California right now, and I pay for a cable subscription here, I could go to AMC's website, and just sign in with my cable account on their website and be able to watch their content.
And that's where it comes in. You might not necessarily want to. Some people, hey, awesome, this live TV, this is important to me here, here, here. Hulu gives me that, or Sling gives me that much cheaper. Okay, buy a cable company. Some of the people are like, oh, this, that, and the other thing, and they'll downgrade their cable box and then get something else, and they're coming out like on top price-wise. And they're losing a whole bunch of extra stuff they don't even need with the cable company, and they're getting specifically what they want from that. You're still going to come out. So you can balance two, or you can cancel a cable altogether. It depends on what you want. Everyone's going to want different things. I'm going to be watching different things than you, and you're going to be watching different things than you. So it's whatever works best for you on it. Either way, you can easily save money. Go ahead.
I'm watching like Outlander on Stars and we don't have it, I've been watching things like that following day, but I can watch things that I'm not paying for.
Yeah, if you're just normally plugging the Fire Stick in, you're not doing anything funny with it, you're just plugging the Fire Stick in, don't worry, you're not breaking any kind of laws with that just because those are available.
Yeah,
you're perfectly fine.
You're fine.
Like I watched Wonder Woman when it first came out.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Go back one. So the last one that we were going to cover, last device, the Fire Stick. So HDMI connections as well, live TV streaming, HBO, NFL, they all have their own apps on here. So if you have one of these apps through your cable company, like, oh, I pay for this, like I was saying, you can activate it on here and you're not going to be paying for AMC or anything twice. So you can get the app for free. And the app is like the advantage of the app with a live TV. So it's like, oh, I pay Dish, I get to watch AMC, blah, blah, blah. But Walking Dead isn't on right now, that's what I want to watch. Well, you can go right on their app. And you can say, hey, I already paid for it. Here's the code. OK, thank you. Now you have it on demand and you have it live. And you're not paying anything additional except for just the device, which is only a one-time purchase. And this one, $8.99. And this one comes with a remote with voice control. So if the remote's important to you, this might be what you would like. And this one, it does have the Sling TV. It does have Netflix, Hulu, and all of that.
Same
All right?
thing with like HBO. I was talking earlier about HBO where you don't have to have a cable subscription. They have HBO Now, which is something you can subscribe to watch all their content just by itself. But if you do have a cable subscription with HBO included, they have an app called HBO Go, separate from Now. It's just HBO Go provides the same content. It allows you to use your cable subscription to watch it instead of having to purchase HBO by itself.
And we'll be hanging around. So if you guys want to come up to us, we all have our own area of expertise. We'll gladly answer any questions for you. I hope you guys learned something.